those of you that purchased the optional antifreeze winterization system, let me walk you through the steps of how to winterize your system via an antifreeze purge. The number one thing we want to do is absolutely get all the water out of the jetter that we can before we put antifreeze to it. Because we don't want any intermingling of water and antifreeze. It would just dilute the antifreeze and it won't protect you. So we'll drain the tanks. Again, the water drain is right over there. I'm going to open up and I'm going to go ahead and disassemble the strainer because I should be cleaning my strainer anyway, and that gets more water out of the water manifold. Pull my strainer assembly out, wait for the drain to finish draining. Put it back together. Again, just needs to be hand tight. I need to close off my drain valve and close. There's a valve that you can't see from here between the strainer and the water tank right in here. I'm just going to push it down so that I don't want my antifreeze to wander back into the main tank. So at this point, I'm all set on my front end, and next thing we'll go into the rear end and actually purge the system. Okay, once we've got our water tank drained, we've got the water valve shut off up there. We're set up where we can open up our antifreeze valve here. This valve, as we open it, is going to allow antifreeze to go into the pumping system. There again, it's very important that the water tank valve is shut off and the drain is closed. Otherwise, you're either going to lose antifreeze to the main tank or you're going to lose antifreeze to the ground. So those valves are closed. Now we can open this valve as we have. So I'm going to take my jetting hose off of the storage point. Basically, our procedure is pretty simple. We're going to start the engines at idle. We're going to turn the water on immediately because we don't want to pump antifreeze into this water tank, like I said. And the system's going to be purging, the antifreeze coming through, purging water out this hose. You'll see clean water for a short time. And then when we see pink water, that's no longer water, it's antifreeze. We'll just pump it into the tank and recirculate. Now, those of you that have this model with DWR style unit, you're going to have this assembly right here, which I'm going to use right today, where you can connect up the jetting hose to this female fitting. And with this yellow valve pointed the way it is right here, it's going to pump the water into this observation hose where we can just watch this as it's pumping, and as soon as we see pink, then we just move this valve up and it'll just recirculate back to the antifreeze tank. Now, those of you that don't have this type of setup, you've got the basic EAGLE-200 or EAGLE-300, you're just going to be basically holding the hose there and recirculating. Okay, so let's go ahead and use this up. I'm going to put this in the down position to start. I'm going to start my engines. I put on panel control. It's too much throttle. Notice I went down to idle. That's all we have to do. Boom, I turned my water on, which now is antifreeze on. And it's going to take some time to pump water through this line. So we have to wait it out. As soon as I see pink here, I'm going to move the valve up. Now, if I had the standard model, again, I'd be holding this because I don't have this assembly and just waiting to see pink before I put the hose into the tank. Again, water's just going to the ground. We're about ready to make the switch over. I saw the discoloration change. Now we're just circulating antifreeze to the antifreeze tank. So while this is recirculating antifreeze, I need to exercise the water on-off valve for a moment. Now I'm pumping antifreeze to the recirc lines to the tank. I can turn it right back on again. It only takes a moment. Then I'm going to open my pulsator up for about 15 seconds. That pulsation line has water in it, so I need to purge that water out. You can hear the noise of it moving water through, or antifreeze through, excuse me. Close it back up and shut down. Now our system is winterized. We've purged all the water out via the antifreeze. Now when it comes to startup again, it's much simpler. I'm going to close this valve. In fact, I didn't do it now. And when I start up again, I'll fill my water tank. I'll open up the one valve up front. And then as soon as I start pumping water into the system, it's going to push all the antifreeze back into here. So the only thing I've got to do is observe as I see it suddenly turn to water. Then I'm going to shut everything off, take my hose off here, and go back to jetting.